Now Act 3. So the the Act 3 is entitled The Hole in the Wall. And in this particular act, we find that Charudatta and Maitreya, they're close friends, and they're returning after midnight from a concert, and they went straight to bed. And later on, the Maitreya has in his hand the gem casket which Vasansena has left behind. So, if you remember from the previous act, that Vasansena was at Charudatta's house, right? And she left her gem casket behind. And this gem casket is now in the hand of Maitreya, and Maitreya is taking care of it. So Charudatta is very fond of Maitreya because he's one of his best friend, and Charudatta wants him to take care of this James casket. Now, Sarvalika, who is a thief, he's a renowned thief actually, and he also plays a very important role in this particular play. So he enters. He's in love with Madanika. Now, who is Madanika? Madanika is a maid. She is a maid at Vasansena's house, and is resolved to acquire by the theft by the means of buying her freedom. So he's in love with freedom. So please do remember, Sravlika is in love with Vasansena. He's in love with Madanika, and Madanika is a worker. She is a maid at Vasansena's house, and he wants Madanika, to get free from Vasansena. So, as you remember, as I have already mentioned, that this is a critical approach. So, back in those days, the workers, especially the maids, they were not allowed to go outside. They were not allowed to, leave their masters. So, there was only one way, a person or a maid could be left. A maid could be, free when somebody pays for her. So woman was basically a kind of object. They were seen as an object. So in the same way, in the modern time, in the modern capitalist world, when we pay for something, so if we want to buy any particular object, if we want to buy any particular toy or anything, we pay for that particular thing. So women as well as maids, they were treated in the same way back in those days. And here Sarvalika thinks that if he steals the gem casket from Maitreya's or from Charudatta's house, then he might exchange Madanika's life, with gem casket. So Sarvalika, he comes to steal the casket, and he makes a hole in the wall of the house, enters and steals the casket of gems which Vasansena had left. Now, let's look at the words that Sarvalika said. It's very important. He said that I made an entrance from my body's round by force of art and arms, a path of deeds. I skinned my side. Look at the words. I skinned my side by crawling on the ground like a snake that slots the skin, no longer sound, and now I go where my profession leads. So the way his attitude is very modernistic. He's a very strong person, and he believes that he is a very good stealer. He's a very good thief, and he has mastered the art of stealing. And the way he slouches, it's like a snake, and no one can hear him. And then and there's another funny thing here is that Maitreya, who is a friend of Charudatta, he's actually sleeping, and he's sleep talking right now, and he thinks that he's talking to Charudatta, but in fact he's talking to Sarvalika, who is a thief. And he says, talking to his sleep, look man, I see something. Hold on. Look man, I see something like a hole in the wall. I see something like a thief. You had better take a golden casket. Now, Maitreya thinks that he's talking to Charudatta, and he believes that there is a thief inside the house, which in fact is true. And he thinks that if he, hands this casket of gems to Charudatta, then the thief won't be able to take it. But actually, in fact, he's talking to the thief itself. And then Maitreya says, my friend, by the wishes of cows and Brahmins, I conjure you to take this golden casket, which means, you see, cows and Brahmins, they used to be very important figure. They used to be very important part of the Hindu mythology back in, even back in those days. So now you know from why do human beings, why do Hindus, they they worship cows. Cows were worshipped even back in those days. Anyway, so let's move on. Now, in the Act 3, Charudatta wakes to find casket and thief gone. Now, when the Charudatta wakes up in the early morning, he says that there is no casket and thief is also gone. So this is a kind of whole, I'm just thinking, just imagine that the way he did it. His wife gives him her pearl necklace with which to make restitution. So now, of course, he has to give something to Vatsensena in order to tell her that how he lost her gem of casket. So he's a very modest person. He's not going to tell her that he lost it. His strangle he must have been who made the branch his costumed harvest in my house to reap. He has not learned that vanished riches teach a calm untrodden sleep. Now he's also actually, see, he's not angry. It's quite funny that Charudatta is not angry. He's so humble person. He's so good. He's not angry about getting stolen by the thief. He's actually talking. He's actually saying that how wondrous the thief was. He's actually took the casket and no one even got to know about it. And then he says he saw the sometimes greatness of my home, a forced an entrance for the heart did I leap with short-lived hope. Now he must elsewhere roam, and over broken hopes must surely weep. So I mean, he's quite positive. He's not much thinking about it, and of course it's a very grievance moment, but still he's a very positive man. And then what happens is that in Act 4 we find that Madanika and Sravlika, so so we are going to find these two stories, their stories in this particular act. So in Act 4 opens with the conversation between Vasantsena and Madanika. So now Madanika is talking to her mistress, her mistress Vasantsena, and soon after the Sravlika comes to Vasantsena's house to buy Madanika's freedom. So now Sravlika, who has already stolen the casket, he is coming to Vasantsena's house, and he wants her lover, which is Madanika, he wants her to be free. Now Vatsansena overhears the fact. So there's a very beautiful scene here. I mean, you should definitely read the play itself. I have okay, just we will read this one out. See, I wonder where I find Madanika. It is Madanika. So he sees Madanika, in a garden, and he comes near to the Madanika and he tells her all about it, like what he did and how he came up to this conclusion, how he came up to the decision that he has enough money, or he has enough gem to get Madanika free. So now he says, surprising Madana himself in charm. Now it's a very beautiful line. See, Madana, surprising Madana himself in charm. She seems the bride of love in human guise. Even while my heart the flames of passion harms, she brings a sandal coolness of my eyes. Madanika. So it's a romantic scene. How beautifully he expresses the love between love for Madanika. He says she's like a Madana. She's the mother of, like, it's like she's very beautiful. She's very charming. In a human guise, it's more like she's a bride of love. And look at her passion. She smells like sandal. Sandal is basically a tree, sandalwood, chandan ki lakdi that we call. So she smells like sandal. It's very beautiful, and she smells so good. And now he sees her and he comes near her, and then he says, and then she says, Vasantsena, sir, will you undertake a return commission of mine? So here what happens, it's a beautiful scene. You should definitely read the play, then you would understand how beautiful this play is. So there is a scene of on the stage they have tried to show that show to the people that on the one side, on the other side of the window, actually Vasantsena is listening the talk between Madanika and Shravlika. So Shravlika is telling Madanika how he stole the casket and how he is going to get Madnika free from Vasant Sena. And Vasant Sena is listening everything. She almost, she listened everything that Shravlika has to say about Madnika, and she feels, she is also a woman. She knows like what love is, because she is also in love with Charudat, and she hears everything. She heard everything. She heard all the entire conversation, and then she says to Savlika that, Vasant Sena, sir, will you undertake a written commission of mine? Now she knows everything, and still she is saying that, would you like to take a written commission? Since he given the casket to given casket to what's her name? Oh shit. So he has given, the casket of gem to Vasant Sena, and Vasant Sena is basically telling. Okay, there is another thing that happened, that Madanika, she refused to take it. She refused to accept what Shravlika has to offer. So she said that he should rather go and tell Vasant Sena that he did not steal it, but in fact he's bringing he's bringing that casket, the James casket, from Charudatta's house, and Charudatta has given him to deliver this casket to Vasant Sena. So Vasant Sena, she knows everything, even though she takes it, and she doesn't say anything to Shravlika. So she's simply asking, do you need something in return? Do you need some commission in return? And then Shravlika says, who will you carry it? Who will carry it? And this commission is, so he's concerned, like, what is the commission? If it's, let's say, if it's James, if it's money, then how he's going to give it to Charudatta? What he's going to tell to Charudatta, right? So then Vasant Sela says, will you be good enough to accept Madanika? Now he's actually freeing Madanika. He's saying, okay, I will give you Madanika in for this. So Shravlika, madam, I do not quite understand. Now he's quite shocked. And then Vasant Sena says, but I do. Shravlika, how so? Then Vasant Sena says, Charudatta told me that I was to give Madanika to the man who should return these jewels. Now Vasant Sena says, Charudatta told me, now she's defending, she's, in fact, she knows, and she's defending him, and she's saying that Charudatta told me, whoever gives this jewel to you, just return Madanika to them. And in that way, Vasant Sena, she returns Madanika to Shravlika. So this is how there is a story within the story. This is why we call this play a Prakarna play. It's a very beautiful play within a play within a play. You see, Madanika and Shravlika, they meet. Anyway, now let's move on to the next slide. So here what happens is that as Shravlika leaves the house, he hears that his friend Aryaka. Now please do remember, Aryaka is a very important character here, because he is going to be the king in this play. So Aryaka, who is a friend of Shravlika, who had been imprisoned by the king, has escaped and being pursued. Shravlika departs to help him. Now, of course, Aryaka, it was a prophecy that Aryaka is going to kill, or he is going to become the king. So the king's man, they are hunting Aryaka. So this is also a kind of criticism here. So the criticism about bad kingship. Even though writer himself is a king, but still he's criticizing the bad kings at that time, at that particular age, and he's saying that from the character itself, it shows that the writer itself doesn't want a bad king, because a bad ruler will actually bring wrong things into the kingdom. So let's just read this passage. He says, a voice behind the scene, man, we have the following orders from the chief of the police. A soothsayer has declared that the young herdsman named Aryaka is becoming king. Trusting to his prophecy and alarm threat, King Palaka has taken him from the hamlet, and thrown him into strict confinement. Therefore, be watchful, and every man at his post. So it's more like a scene coming from behind. It's not happening in front of the stage, and someone is talking about Aryaka, that Aryaka might become the king. So the king's men are looking for him, so they can kill him, so that Aryaka cannot become the king. So Sarvlika, now he says, what? King Palaka has imprisoned my good friend Aryaka, and here I am, married a man, a married man, confound it. But no, now the story changes here. Now Shavlika, he wants to, go and save his friend Aryaka, because he's a very good thief, and he does wonderful, he steals beautifully. He's like a snake, and he slither into the house without knowing anybody. So so he's going to help his friend. So now he says, two things alone, his friend, his wife, deserves man's love below 100 brides may forfeit life. Eerie, he should suffer. So basically, he's going to save his friend Srablika here now. Now in Act 4 again, Maitreya comes from Charudatta with the pearl necklace. Now, of course, Maitreya had no idea like what already had happened, right? So he comes to Vasansena with Charudatta's wife's necklace, so that he can repay for the stolen pearl, for the stolen casket, to repay Vasansena, right? So she accepts the necklace also, as giving her an excuse to visit Charudatta. Now she is accepting the necklace, and of course she knows, everybody knows here what is happening except for the Maitreya and Charudatta. But she is actually trying to find a way to communicate Charudatta, or trying to find a way to meet Charudatta. So she is saying that, okay, I will accept it, but in return I want to meet Charudatta, I want to visit Charudatta's house. So Maitreya says he imagined that the golden casket was his own and gambled it away. So now you see how wonderful this man is, how wonderful this Charudatta is. He is accepting, he's not accepting that, he's not accepting the fact that it has been stolen, but he's saying that he thought that he had a dream that this casket belongs to him, and he actually gambled it away. See how nice this person is. He doesn't accept that it has been stolen, and in return he's actually giving, he's actually returning Vasansena his own wife's necklace. So this also tells you that the stature of a woman in this particular time, at this particular time, the woman has no place in saying about any particular thing, because she just gave the necklace to him, even though she knows that Charudatta is in love, or Vasansena, they both are in love with each other, you see. Anyway, now Vasansena, it was stolen by a thief, and he is proud that he says he gambled it away. I love him for that. Now Vasansena is talking to her own maid, her own person, and she's saying that, see how beautiful, how good this man is, even though it has been stolen, but he's not accepting it. Now Maitreya, he requests that you will therefore be good enough to accept in a place the necklace of pearls. He gives the pearls back to he gives the pearls back. He gives the pearls to Vasansena. Then Vasansena laughs and looks at her friend. Why should I not take the necklace, Maitreya? She takes it and lays it away aside. How it is possible that drops of honey fall from a mango tree even after its blossoms are gone? Now she is saying how wondrous this man Charudatta is, even though he's old now, even though he does not have money, even though he does not he's not rich as he's not rich as Vasansena, but still it's more like a honey falling from the mango tree, which means how kindness he has, how kind he is, right? And now he says, sir, pray tell the worthy gambler Charudatta in my name that I shall pay him a visit. Now she wants to visit Charudatta. She was finding a way how she could visit Charudatta, and now she got the way. Now she found a way, right? So that's all for today. In the next lecture, we will take a look on the Act 5. Thanks for watching, and if you have any comments, if you have any queries, please write down in the comment section.